Now may I ask Mayor Kay Barnes to join me? And Mayor, before you lift the lid, I kind of have goosebumps. I'm wondering what's going through your mind.
Well, it is truly an honor to be the individual representing all of you here today and also all of the other people of this region living at this time to be able to literally open the box and for all of us to discover together what is there. It is quite a fantasy to think about 100 years ago, the excitement of the people who were celebrating, their anticipation of the future, their interest in communicating to people they would never personally know. So I think it is a time today for us to open not only our heads, but our hearts to all of those people 100 years ago who were thinking of us. Thank you.
We don't really need a drum roll. Our hearts are beating so fast up here.
What we're busily doing up here is looking for the letter from the mayor, and it is the one item that we have a copy of that was published separately from what was actually placed in the box as the original. I think you will be fascinated, as I have been this morning, just a few minutes ago, to have the opportunity to hear this letter from the mayor of Kansas City 100 years ago. To the Honorable Mayor of Kansas City, Missouri, it is a letter to me. Dear Sir, a Hibernian gentleman once closed an impassioned epistle to his sweetheart with the words, "If you fail to receive this letter, of course, you will know it has miscarried." To which pleasing bit of philosophy, I may add the consoling suggestion that you will never know the extent of your misfortune. The whimsical fancies of the originators of the great ball held here tonight have led them to insist that I write this letter. And as at this period of the world's history, the mayor of a municipality is expected to be the servant of the public in all matters, from the care of public sewers to the entertainment of distinguished guests, it would doubtless be considered bad form in me to refuse a compliance with the requests aforesaid. Accordingly, I stretch my hand across the coming century to clasp the shadowy fingers of the unborn mayor of 2001, indulging at the same time the thought that mayhap he will in turn reach his hand back across the chasm of the then dead 20th century to clasp the unsubstantial fingers of my shade. Standing upon the threshold of the new century, we look backward and survey 100 years of the most wonderful progress of the world since time began. Between the birth and death of the 19th century is compassed more of progress and achievement than in all the ages that have rolled over the earth. Within its brief span, the ox cart has given place to the locomotive, wooden sail vessels to steel leviathans propelled by steam that plow the waves of every sea. The telegraph and telephone have taken the place of mounted couriers. The daily paper has usurped the province of the weekly and monthly periodical. Science has measured the universe and weighted and analyzed the remotest star that shines in space. The tide of civilization has swept from far east of the Mississippi to the coast of the Pacific Ocean, transforming impenetrable forests and trackless prairies into happy homes, and dotting fruitful valleys with villages, towns, and mighty cities. Typical of this wonderful advancement, typical of the century, most typical of its progress, energy, ceaseless and irresistible advance, to that city over which you shall have, upon the receipt of this epistle, the honor to preside. Within a period of 3 decades, it has been transformed from a struggling hamlet of cabins to a city of 165 souls, and together with its twin sister, Kansas City, Kansas, embraces a population of nearly 250,000 people. Its advance in industrial achievement has more than kept pace with the growth of population. It is the center of a network of railways reaching into every state and territory of the Union. Its future greatness is assured, so far as anything terrestrial may be regarded as certain. Today, Kansas City, Queen of the West and Southwest, dowered with youth and strength, belted with hope and ambition, wielding the scepter of supremacy over a territory vaster than the Empire of Germany, richer than the valley of the Nile in the days of the pharaohs, turns her beautiful face toward the sunrise of the 20th century and sends Godspeed to her children of the 21st. This letter is written at a great ball, attended by 10,000 of our citizens, to celebrate the morning of the new century. Here are gathered the men who built and made Kansas City great. If by any chance this letter should reach your hand and be opened at a similar ball held 100 years from this date, it mayhap will reach the ears of a larger audience, in which will be gathered the wit and beauty of your day. But it will not be listened to by more handsome ladies than the women of Missouri congregated here tonight. Women with cheeks the mingled bloom of peach and rose, whose eyes have stolen their azure from the skies, or robbed the night of all its sable charms. With brows and necks softer than satin, whiter than the lily's spotless bosom, with hair like floss of silk, spun into finest threads by magic's wondrous looms, colored with sunshine's gold, or raven black, or nut brown tints, with lips that can shame the cherries in their ripest blush, the bed of kisses, honeyed words and love, with forms that might bring tears of envy from the stony eyes of marble Juno, with hearts warmer than the breast of Venus when first pierced by Cupid's fiery dart. They move across the ballroom's polished floor in perfect accord with music's melodies, the embodiment of terrestrial grace and glory. In 2001, you may have greater concourse of people at your ball, but the flower of your womanhood will not exceed the congregated loveliness here tonight. Concluding this somewhat remarkable epistle, allow me to express for all the people of Kansas City the hope that when the sun of the 21st century shall rise, it will fall upon the spires and minarets of a mighty American city and gild them till they glow with glory. And may it also light the homes of millions of happy, contented, and prosperous people. I have the honor, sir, to convey this message from the citizens of the present to the citizens of the future. Sincerely yours, James A. Reed, Mayor of Kansas City.
Despite that salutation, dear sir, I think he must have known a beautiful woman from Missouri was going to be reading that. And I'm quite sure he didn't mean to overlook the lovely women of Kansas either. Do we have mics? We do have mics. Okay, great. Go ahead. You can't see it.
Have to check the monitors, and we're going to try to break this over so you can see the rather chaos that's in this box. We have things kind of strewn all about inside. Is everybody seeing them on the monitors? Can everybody see that what's it sort of a little bit about what's inside the box? Cool. Go ahead.
The first thing that came out is the city directory for 1900. This is actually in very, very good shape. Most of the ones that we have on the library shelves are in incredible condition and almost impossible to use because they're leaking so badly. The official manual of the state of Missouri for 1899-1900. Traditionally called the Blue Book, except for the years when James Kirkpatrick was Secretary of State and it was the Green Book. This is the official proceedings of the Democratic National Convention in Kansas City in 1900. Again, in pristine condition. What we're seeing is that the condition of all of this material is excellent. We were really afraid what it might look like when we were planning for opening the box up.
We also had several tickets, and I can't open that, along with a note that says, "These are samples of the badges worn by the various committees in charge of the Century Ball, December 31st, 1900, signed J.P. Lewis, manager." And there are tickets. One says ticket, one says music, one says badge, police, auditing,
This is the general catalog for the Farm Machinery Vehicles Company of the John Deere and Plow Company in Kansas City and in Denver. 1898, 1899. For those of you who aren't aware, Kansas City was a major implement company, farm implement company, and John Deere, of course, was one of the major companies nationally. Would you like to read it?
This reads, "To whom it may concern, on opening this box, it may be of interest to someone to know that this note was flung in the face of posterity by the reporter who wrote the story of the burning of Convention Hall, April 4th, 1900, for the Kansas City Times." And I believe it's signed G.W. Ogden.
This is a poster. Whoa.
More than one.
Of the two of the
Prize-winning cows, I believe. Armor Rose is this one's name. Owned by John Sparks, Reno, Nevada. Bred by Kurt Armour, Kansas City.
And this was Armor Grove made. I think these were the winning cattle at what was the first American Royal that was held in Convention Hall in 1899. These were sold at auction, and the money's used. To support the rebuilding of Convention Hall.
While they're preparing to take out the next thing, is Jim Lipscomb in the audience? There he is. Mr. Lipscomb, you might be interested to know, came all the way from New York to see if something your mother placed in the box is here. Is that correct? Yes. Do you know what it was? A fan. All right. We'll keep our eyes. She was at the ball, and it was a fan from the ball. How interesting.
These are so
This is a calendar for the year 1901.
We have another calendar for the year 1901. We have the social register, basically, the Society Blue Book, which actually we look like we have something cut out of it. So, we were given a vandalized book.
This is a curiosity because this is the catalog for the Kansas City University. Now, this isn't the Kansas City University that became UMKC. This is actually a Kansas City, Kansas institution that survived for about 20 years. So we have that here. Also, the catalog from 1900 to 1901 for the University of Kansas.
We have programs from the Priest of Palace. Does was an incredibly popular over a week-long event in Kansas City from about 1887 till about 1924 with a bit of a lapse in there. The Priesthood Palace was pretty much the major event that the merchants used to get visitors, Kansas Cityans, tourists alike, down into the downtown area. There was a parade, there was a ball. The ball was very highly anticipated. And the Grand Century Ball was sort of that extension of the what was known as the POP. Priesthood Palace were just, you know how in New Orleans they did their whole Mardi Gras event? This was Kansas City's answer to Mardi Gras. The ball, the POP ball, was something that only invitations were sent out to, souvenirs were given, but the parade was something that everyone could attend, and it was just an incredible array. And in 1901, they started what they thought, the world's only electric parade, because the cars were put on the trolley tracks and run down the streets that way. And they called themselves the world's first and only all-electric parade.
Unfortunately, we also have the official program, but you can see that it's suffered a little bit in the interior of the box. And I'm opening up a small box here, and I think what it is one of the souvenirs from the Priesthood Palace parade and ball.
The souvenirs of the POP and the ball were highly coveted because only so many people were invited.
This is a small clock.
And instead of styrofoam, to keep it from knocking about, we have hay. Or some kind of cushion for the clock.
This is a horseshoe. To the mayor of Kansas City, Missouri, 2001, from J.B. McLean, horseshoe. It's located at 1231 McGee Street, telephone number 1496, Kansas City, Missouri. Supposed to put it this way, right?
For those of you unable to see what's going on in the background, this is a little bit like going to a bridal shower. The conservators in the back are writing down each item as it's taken out. They're putting each one in an archival folder and putting them in a safe place.
This is an 1898 roster of the Commercial Club of Kansas City. As I mentioned earlier, the Commercial Club was the forerunner of the Chamber of Commerce, today's Chamber of Commerce.
We have 2 copies of Hughes' annual Kansas City Views from Hughes Publishing Company. I'll try to put a couple pictures down for you. Basically, it was a pictorial of Kansas City and region. It was newest buildings that were being built, public schools, churches. It was a wonderful pictorial. We apparently got 2 copies of that.
If you've seen the small exhibit that's out in the hallway, you have already seen this. This is the invitation to the convention, to the Century Ball. It's beautifully illustrated. They were very concerned because it arrived late. Not everybody was invited to the ball. Originally, there were 2 sets of tickets, actually 4 sets of tickets. The first set was for $10, and that gave you a floor ticket. where you could go down and dance. You could also spend considerably more money and buy a box to set in. Those sold for as little as $60, and I think the most was $350 for the time. And they seated between 8 and 10 people in the box. They sold all of the 64 boxes that they had. They sold all of the 1,901 floor tickets they had. And they also sold $1.50 tickets to the upper gallery and 50-cent tickets to the topmost gallery. That was for the hoi polloi. They did not have access to the food and drink and to the floor to dance, but they could observe all of the goings-on at the ball at the time. This is history.
We also have a Kansas City Carnival Crew, which is, if you knew about Priest of Palace, you might not have known about the Carnival Crew. It only lasted a few years. The Come and Cut comical capers, everything was with a K. There was complaints with the Priest of Palace that the parade was really the only public event that they could participate in. And so the Kansas City Carnival Crew became sort of their answer to that. It was a week-long celebration. People could dress up. They crowned the queen of the Carnival Crew. It was a much more public event, but it only lasted a couple years, and it's really fun. We have the list of attractions for Carnival Week is as follows. Monday night, October 5th, reception of King Kiki and Queen Carnation under the auspices of Kansas City Carnival Crew. Tuesday night, October 6th, the Priest of Palace Parade. Wednesday afternoon, October 7th, the Flower Parade under auspices of Kansas City Carnival Crew. Wednesday night, October 7th, the Priest of Palace Ball, and on and on and on. It's a wonderful little event.
This is, they did have typewriters in 1900. This is a typescript copy. It's actually a second of the individual membership of the Commercial Club of Kansas City, June 7th, 1900. And it includes all of the members in a typed list. Kansas City was an important railroad town. We're in the right place to celebrate that. This is the California Limited 1900-1901 on the Santa Fe route. One of the main participants in this event was the Harveys, after whom the room is named in the back part of the gallery, front part of the station, Fred Harvey House. This is a beautifully illustrated, let's put it on the screen here, beautifully illustrated brochure of the railroad. Yeah, we're not going to open this up, but it's marked as a copy of the Chicago Tribune published April 30th, 1893, containing the account of the opening of the World's Fair, presented by Mr. and Mrs. H.J. Seeley?
Looks like Seeley.
Seeley, cards enclosed. This is the Condon's police schedule chart and switchboard record. I'm not certain what it is.
Explanation.
It just knows it's how the columns is.
We'll try to get this. We're also planning on aligning these tables with several of the
From the police department, and I'm trying to get to the title page. This This is a manual containing the rules and regulations of the Police Department of Kansas City, Missouri, published in 1890. It gives all of the instructions. I might say that one of the things about the Century Ball, having had a major fire in the building, they were certainly concerned about an additional fire, and they had the fire department out in force at the time of the ball, which had strings of electric lights throughout. I'm hoping to find some of the photographs of the ball that should be in here.
Because the process of working their way to the bottom of the box may take a little while, we'd like to thank all of you for being here and invite you to stay as long as you like, and then to file past the artifacts, as they were just mentioning before, so that you can get a closer look. The contents of the old box also will be on display here at Union Station in the near future. Now, besides the Lipscombs from New York, is there anyone else here who thinks they have an ancestor who might have put something in this box? Could you raise your hand? Yes, all right. So please be sure and come up and make yourself known to the conservators so that we can take a look. Please help me in showing our sincere thanks to the following. The KC 150 Time Capsule Committee, would you please stand if you all would hold your applause until we have everyone standing. The staff of the Kansas City Convention and Entertainment Centers, please stand. The staff of Union Station, Science City, and the Kansas City Museum, would you join them? We got them all? A big hand to all these people who worked so hard. We'd also like to thank, of course, the volunteers and ushers, Ray France of North Kansas City Printers for those wonderful commemorative tickets. Ray, could you please stand? There he is. Bob Zahner and family for the beautiful boxes. If you could stand, please. The family of 1901 Mayor James A. Reed and the Stricker family of Gardner, Kansas. If you all could please stand. And all the companies and individuals who helped make this possible today. We hope to see you at 5 o'clock for the closing ceremony. As we said, this will continue, and I think Mayor Barnes has found a letter.